I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
What do you mean? Women change their minds all the time.
You must be kidding, aren't you?
Look, I don't want to talk about it. I'm just gonna go upstairs, wash up, and go to bed.
Hey, don't talk to me like that. You should tell me everything.
I can't talk right now.
You're just a chicken, Peter. Hi.
Can I help you?
Can I please have a dozen red roses?
Oh, hi, Johnny. I didn't know it was you. Here you go.
That's me. How much is it?
It's gonna be $18.
Oh, hi.
Bret, what the hell? We've been trying to do this review.
What? Who? I'm Tommy.
Stop talking like that, you up.
Come on, we got. Yeah.
Hurry up.
Oh, hi, viewers.
I'm Molly.
My name is Bret Williams.
I'm Josh Elliott.
And I'm Cameron Dose.
And today we are going to be reviewing The Disaster
Disaster
Artist. When I heard that James Franco was going to be making this movie, I was like worried that he was just going to make fun of The Room the whole time and say this movie is so stupid and it's so funny and you should laugh at it. But they actually did it a way that I didn't expect, where they took it and they respected the movie. The co-star of The Room, Greg Sestero, he wrote a book about like his experience and like the filming and the making of The Room. This is the film adaptation of the book. James Franco directed it, and this has to be one of his best performances I've ever seen.
If you haven't heard of The Room, it's basically the worst movie ever made.
But it's the best camp movie ever.
Yeah.
And I don't think you have to see The Room to see this. Although
Have
on
you
the
guys
Jimmy...
read the book? I recently started it. It's incredible. Like,
How
the book
accurate is it to the movie?
There's two parts that they left out where I'm like, if you put that in the movie, I would give this movie a 10 out of 10.
Really?
Greg was originally not wanting to be in the movie, and so they cast another actor. And then Greg ended up becoming that character, but they never told the other actor. So they were both filming the same scenes. And finally the other actor found out and he was like, what are you guys doing? No, I quit. And he left, and then Greg kept doing it. In the movie, Tommy just writes the script. Apparently Tommy just like leaves. And one day he like calls Greg and is like, I'm in big trouble, I need help. Greg's like, okay, and then he like hangs up and doesn't hear from him for like months. And then Tommy shows back up and is like, hey, I wrote a script. That'd be so much better if you put that in.
Okay, this movie's not a 10 out of 10 for me, but I think it is definitely a 10 out of 10 in terms of showing the audience what they want to see. They show you the scenes from The Room that you want to see. They parody those scenes. Right. Constantly reference the fact that nobody knows how old Tommy is or where he's from, because those are things that the audience wants to know.
But the thing is, in the Jimmy Kimmel interview, he says he's like from Eastern Europe.
But also in the book, Greg says, I still don't know if that's true to this day. Probably my biggest problem with this movie is like, we do see a couple of times the problems with the production of The Room. There was a ton of issues, not just the fact that he wouldn't pay for air conditioning. Like, there were multiple issues, and I don't think we saw that. I think we just saw Greg and Tommy fighting all the time.
Yeah, and it almost seems like it had all the odds against it, and then it happened, which I'm not really sure is the story that they should have presented, because it was kind of like a, oh, everybody said we couldn't do it, and we did it kind of story. Yeah.
It kind of turns it on its head, though. It's like everyone says we could do it, and we did it, but it was terrible. But that's okay, I guess, because it's still technically successful.
What I absolutely loved about this movie is it was basically like a love letter to people who want to be like successful in the film industry, and how sometimes it just doesn't work out.
It's the anti-La La Land.
Yeah.
Tommy and Greg are watching the movie and he's just like so disappointed. It's actually
like people start laughing and Tommy just starts crying.
It's
like,
actually really affected me. I was like, wow, that really sucks.
And that's what's so effective about the performance. The entire movie, we are given reason after reason not to like Tommy Wiseau. And in that moment, we all still felt sad for him.
Yeah. I love the fact that Tommy's like the lead character of this movie. We know nothing about Tommy. Cole said this, when he dies and you go onto his IMDb, what's it gonna say? Like,
James Franco's like getting all the attention for playing Tommy, but also Dave Franco does a really good job playing Greg.
My problem that I stated afterwards is he looked like a character to me. Just because I know know what Dave Franco looks like. And
Yeah.
seeing the actual Greg in like real life, I just don't see them as the same person.
They also cast people that looked a lot like the actual actors in the movie The Room.
Except for Josh Hutcherson.
That was a wig, and I was like,
I know.
Get out of this movie.
That was like Molly in Horror Movie 2. Yeah. It's so weird because Josh Hutcherson's a pretty big actor, and he like had the least lines and the least important role. Even Zac Efron I remember more than Josh Hutcherson's character.
Yeah, let's go to spoilers. Spoilers.
Anyway, there's a scene in the movie where Bryan Cranston shows up.
Guys, Bryan Cranston is in Godzilla.
Stop!
I just found that out.
That did not happen. And I was like, why did you need that? It kind of felt like James Franco and Seth Rogen were like, we'll just put all these actors that we like in here.
Bryan
like Zac Efron,
so cool.
Bryan Cranston.
They could have taken that part out and replaced it with some of the more crazy things that you were talking
instead of having like a cameo from Bryan Cranston, you could have done the actual book.
I only had 2 problems with this movie. 1, I thought the movie went on for too long before they actually started making The Room. 2, did Alison Brie need to be in this movie?
No!
Tommy was always like getting jealous. I wish they would have like gotten.
Wait, hold on. There's a plane.
Hold for plane.
But yeah, it was like very unsettling though. Like Greg and his girlfriend were like talking, he'd be like looking at them like.
And then when they first go to the apartment, he's like, "Let's sleep in the bed together."
I was like, it's not gay. I loved when they compared the scenes side to side
at the very end. That was perfect, and the fact that they put all that work in, like they were timed perfectly.
Yeah. I know.
Sat them next to each other, and they were on point with everything.
Also, Cameron, did you see the second post-credit scene? Because we didn't.
Tommy's in it.
Tommy Wiseau.
He was talking to James Franco as Tommy Wiseau, and they were just like going back and forth. I was like, you're actually doing okay right now.
The Divers hated the cinematography in this movie.
Oh, I was gonna comment. The lighting was
it wasn't
so
too
off.
special.
All of James Franco's movies, I'm never like, whoa, like that was so like innovative. It's just
There's
like,
nothing special.
here's a shot, here's a shot, here's a shot. I'm telling a story.
Okay, so my final verdict is that I haven't seen The Room, but I've seen a lot of clips, and I feel like people are gonna hate on me for that. The story of the disaster artist wasn't, in this film, best exemplified for me. I don't know. Personal opinion, 7.
This was definitely one of my most anticipated movies of 2017. When I first saw like the teaser, like I didn't know what it was. But then James Franco came out as Tommy. I was like, holy shit, I'm so excited for this. I was a little bit worried that it would disappoint, but I did feel like I got what I came for. I'd give it an 8.
I love this movie. It's not perfect. There were a few small story issues that bugged me, like Alison Brie and pacing as well. It could have been a little shorter. This movie showed the audience exactly what they wanted to see, exactly the way they wanted to see it. These are people that definitely care about The Room, and while you can recognize that The Room is a bad movie, they are in a way honoring it, and I really appreciate that. I'll give it a 9.
I agree with the fact that like people got what they came for, but I feel like there's so much more you could have like given us. And also, if you take James Franco out of this movie, what is this movie? James Franco holds this movie up for me, and so without him, it's probably not good. The cinematography isn't the greatest. I mean, the story is good, but I'm gonna give it a 6.
So the final verdict is a 7.5.
What do you think of disaster artist? If you comment, I put you in a movie and make you star.
Bye!